some discussion about our previous class. In the text we see that there was a good Tsar who wanted to give his subjects a good governance. 3 questions arose in his mind, and the questions were: what was the right time to start or to begin any work? Who was the most reliable person to the Tsar, or whom the Tsar should rely on? And the third question was about the work the Tsar should give more importance. The Tsar should emphasize. The Tsar should give more prioritize. In order to get the answers, the Tsar proclaimed a notice announcing a handsome reward. Having heard this, a group of learned men went to the Tsar and expressed their opinions. They gave the Tsar their advices, but their answers were different. So the Tsar was not satisfied with their answers. The Tsar decided to go to a hermit who lived in a forest alone, and also the Tsar did not give the assured amount, the promised amount to the learned men. Now let us start our today's class. The hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted, and he received none but common talk. The hermit, who was known for his wisdom, lived in a forest, lived in a hut in the forest, lived in a hut in the forest, which he never left. He also did not meet with none other than common people. He also meet with none other than common people. So the Tsar put on simple clothes, and before reaching the hermit's cell, dismounted from his horse. The Tsar knew that the hermit would not meet him. If he could know that he was the Tsar of the kingdom, he was the Tsar of the country. So he put on simple clothes. And left his horse before going to the hermit's hut. and dismounted his horse before going to the hermit's hut. And leaving his bodyguard behind, went on alone. The Tsar also left his bodyguard there and went to the hermit alone. The Tsar also left his bodyguard there and went to the hermit alone. When the Tsar approached, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. When the Tsar was approaching towards the hut of the hermit was digging the land in front of his hut. Seeing the Tsar, he greeted him and went on digging. Seeing the Tsar, the hermit saw the Tsar and greeted him. The hermit saw the Tsar and greeted him, and thereafter he continued digging. And thereafter he went on digging. The hermit was frail and weak. The hermit was frail and weak. The hermit was very thin and weak. The hermit was very thin and weak. And each time he stuck his spade into the ground and turned a little earth, he breathed heavily. The hermit was so weak. The hermit was so weak that each time he struck his spade on the ground, and turned a little earth, he breathed heavily. The hermit was suffering from breathing. He was not actually, his body, the body of the hermit actually did not permit him to dig the ground. The physical condition of the hermit actually did not permit him to dig the ground. So, when he did so, he was breathing heavily. So, when he continued digging, he breathed heavily. The Tsar went up to him and said, the Tsar went to the hermit. The Tsar came near the hermit and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. The Tsar explained before the hermit why he came to him. He informed the hermit that he wanted to get the answer of his 3 questions. He wanted to get the answers to his 3 questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? who are the people I most need, and to whom should I therefore I pay more attention than to the rest? The Tsar wanted to know from the hermit what was the right time to start any work. He also wanted to know from the hermit who was the most reliable person, who was the more reliable person to him, or whom he should rely on and whom he should avoid. And his third question was, what affairs are the most important and need my first attention? How should he understand that he should give importance to such words? How would he understand to which word the Tsar should give more importance? So you see, the hermit wanted to get the answers of his three questions from the Tsar, from the hermit. The Tsar wanted to get the answers to his three questions from the hermit. The hermit listened to the Tsar but answered nothing. The hermit listened. He knew the answers. The hermit listened. The hermit knew the answers but did not tell anything. But did not tell anything. But did not utter any words. He just spat on his hand and recommenced digging. He just spat on his hand in order to get his hand some sort of relief. And went on digging. The hermit went on digging without paying attention to the Tsar. The hermit went on digging without paying attention to the Tsar. You were tired, said the Tsar. Let me take the spade and work a while for you. Seeing the hermit gasping, seeing the hermit breathing heavily, seeing the hermit gasping, the Tsar proposed him that he should permit the Tsar to dig the land for him. To dig the land for him. So the Tsar requested the hermit to permit him to dig the land. When he had dug 2 beds, the Tsar stopped and repeated his questions. After digging 2 beds, after digging 2 plots of lands for seeding, after digging 2 small spots of land for seeding, the Tsar stopped his work and wanted to know his answers again, and wanted to get the answers to his questions from the Tsar, from the hermit.